Customers expect marketing that speaks directly to their specific needs and habits. But for enterprise marketing teams, delivering that level of hyper-personalization runs straight into a wall of flat or shrinking budgets. The traditional marketing workflow is strictly linear. A creative brief goes to a team, they produce a campaign, and it gets pushed out to a single channel. Industry estimates project this exact pipeline will soon need to handle a content volume up to 5 times larger than current capacities. You cannot solve a 500% increase by hiring 5 times as many copywriters and designers. The math simply breaks the business model. To bridge this gap, almost 60% of organizations are exploring or implementing generative AI. It is the obvious mechanism for scale. But look closer at the data, and there is a massive execution gap. While everyone is exploring the technology, only 46% are actually deploying it to create personalized marketing campaigns. Typing a prompt into ChatGPT to get a paragraph of text is easy. Building a legally safe, brand-consistent ecosystem that operates at enterprise scale is incredibly difficult. Surviving this content surge requires a departure from monolithic campaigns. Success depends on moving toward a modular production pipeline that can generate and iterate on content in parallel. This level of AI integration requires a structural overhaul of the enterprise communication pipeline. It is a ground-up redesign of how an organization produces and distributes its message. Building this new architecture starts at the very bottom, with the base data layer. General third-party data is obsolete here. The engine requires a constant flow of first- and second-party data to drive personalization. The system ingests micro-level attributes, a user's education, location, health metrics, and specific life moments, to construct highly accurate user profiles in real time. On top of that data sits the generation engine, representing the shift to a modular approach. The system shatters a single brief into component parts, running text and visual generation simultaneously. From one input defining a car model and audience, the engine rapidly outputs dozens of permutations, a safety video for parents on Facebook and a performance variant for LinkedIn. This structure relies on composability. It means the architecture is built from swappable, best-of-breed components. If a better language model or CMS platform is released tomorrow, the company can swap it into the stack without breaking the entire system. This modular engine successfully solves the volume problem, but immediately generating thousands of assets creates a severe quality control nightmare if left unchecked. For creative directors, the underlying fear is obvious. Infinite automated generation inevitably leads to infinite off-brand, diluted content. Off-the-shelf language and image models do not instinctively understand a specific enterprise's nuanced brand guidelines. Left alone, they will drift. The architectural solution to this is extracting what is called business DNA to serve as a programmable aesthetic guardrail. Google Pomeli illustrates the skelter. It scans a brand's digital ecosystem to systematize aesthetic rules. First, it extracts visual identity, locking in hex codes. Next, it maps art direction, analyzing image composition. Finally, it analyzes brand voice, ensuring messaging structure and tone are completely authentic. These extracted rules act as a strict filter. They automatically force the generation engine to resize, recrop, and recolor every raw asset so it adheres strictly to the brand standard. By systematizing brand DNA, AI transitions from an unpredictable artist into a highly obedient production facility. Locking down the aesthetic is half the battle. The architecture must also address existential legal vulnerabilities. Injecting 5 times the normal volume of assets into an enterprise will cause immediate operational collapse without a highly organized digital asset management system to store, track, and version control the output. There is also massive legal exposure. If employees or external agencies generate content using unlicensed training data, they expose the company to intellectual property litigation. This chart reveals a stark lack of preparation regarding Gen AI copyright issues. Only 45% of companies demand terms of service, and 43% implement cybersecurity measures. Less than half restrict employee usage, and only 40% proactively monitor for derived versions of their work. To operate safely, enterprises must establish strict procedures for determining data sources, and they must train their language models exclusively within company walls, using fully cleared assets. Integrating these rigid compliance guardrails into a composable architecture will disrupt established workflows. It requires significant change management and training to get employees aligned. Without a robust asset management and compliance layer capping the architecture, the Gen A engine acts as a legal liability generator rather than an accelerator. When the data foundation, the generation engine, the brand DNA filter, and the legal guardrails are all integrated, you have a fully functioning Gen A marketing system. The real power of this architecture activates when the approved brand-safe content finally hits the market and generates user engagement. Every click, view, and interaction flows directly back into the base beta layer. This real-time feedback loop allows the AI assistant to instantly learn what resonates, fine-tuning subsequent campaign variations without requiring human intervention. This loop also addresses concerns about the computing power required to generate so much content. Currently, over 70% of manually created marketing assets go completely unused. The automated feedback loop identifies what resonates in real time, allowing the system to stop producing assets that fail to perform. This significantly reduces the volume of unused assets, ultimately lowering the organization's carbon footprint. Looking at this survey of expected benefits, 67% of organizations believe that investing in this complex infrastructure will successfully execute long-term brand building. This leaves one final variable: the role of the human marketing team within an automated machine. The human role must transition strictly from manual production, like resizing assets or writing basic copy, to high-level strategic architecture and art direction. The AI acts as a highly efficient co-pilot. It is up to humans to define the initial business DNA, ensure the data is clean, and set the strategic boundaries that feed the system. The victors in the Gen AI era will not be the brands that generate the highest volume of content. The victors will be the brands that successfully encode their unique identity into a secure, scalable architecture.